Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you how to transfer a photo onto a piece of wood. So this is a project that I was doing around my house and I thought you guys might enjoy seeing how to do it. So the first thing you need to do is to print off a photo. What I did was just take a photo from my computer and print it out. Now you do have to have a laser printer for this project. An inkjet printer won't work for this. So make sure you have a laser printer. If you don't have a laser printer, you can go to Staples and have them print out for pretty cheap, or any office supply store, and they will print these out for you if this is a project you want to do. So what I did was I just printed out a bunch of different images that I had. So for this project, I had Arteza sent me back in November some of their wood slices, and they just come like in a package of 45. You can make them as ornaments, but I kind of wanted them as coasters, so I thought, you could do that, or I think they would also be cute if you just kind of set them out as well. So that's what I'm using for this project. You could also use just any kind of wood, like a wood plaque, a wood frame, anything. So just use whatever you have, try it out. So the first thing you're gonna do is take your wood slice and cut out your image. I just traced around my image and then I cut it out a little bit smaller than the wood slice, and I made sure it was going to fit nicely on top of the wood slice. So the next thing you need to do is Mod Podge. You can get this at Walmart. You can get it, I get these little ones at Dollar Tree. I like to use the matte, but you can also use the shiny one, is the red one. Just realize that you will get a little bit of a shiny surface on it. So the next thing you want to do is just put a good amount of Mod Podge onto your wood surface and then spread it around with a brush. Make sure you completely cover it. Make sure that you have more than enough. If you don't have enough coverage, it's not going to stick well. Then you're going to flip your image upside down so the image is facing onto the wood piece. And then you're gonna press it down. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you don't have any air bubbles in this, because if you have raised surfaces on your piece, then that image is not going to transfer to the wood. So I'm using this little fancy Cricut tool, but you can use a credit card, anything, super easy. And all you wanna do is just simply spread it out. You just wanna make sure that the paper is on your board. Then they say to let it dry 24 hours. So I went ahead and did that. I didn't do it any early. I don't know if it needs to be 24 hours, maybe it could be 12, but I just let it set a day before I came back in and did anything to it. Once you have it completely dry, you're going to take a rag, just any kind of rag, and you want to get it wet, but it's not dripping. Just wet it completely and then wring it out. And then what you want to do is just put the rag on top and press it down, because what you're going to do is you want to pull off the paper without pulling off the image. So that's a little tricky, and sometimes you may pull off part of your image. You just want to be really careful here that you're not pressing too hard or pulling too hard so that your image comes off. Of make sure that it's wet enough to where you start seeing your image coming through. Then what I like to do is just kind of lightly pull the paper off by going back and forth on your image. It's going to come off a lot easier if you soak it ahead of time. And just be really careful when you're around like faces and stuff, because you don't want to like pull off somebody's face and that may ruin the image a little bit. I don't know. So you're just gonna lightly pull it off. You're gonna be left with a little bit of paper residue. So what I like to do is just kind of use my thumb and pull that off. If you overdo it, you're gonna start pulling off that image. So this is what it looks like once you get the paper off, and I think it looks great. Your final step to seal it is just to add another layer of Mod Podge, and this doesn't have to be like a super thick layer. And then just let that dry, and then you're all done. I think these would make cute coasters. This one of my mom and me and my girls, I'll probably just give to my mom. She can set it out. I mean, I think these would be cute on like tiered trays as just, you know, just a little something extra. Now, since I've done this project a couple of times, I want to give you my tips because I will show you where I had some mistakes. One thing that I think is important when you're doing this project, especially if you're using a black and white image like I did, is you want to make sure that you have light wood. The light wood just makes the image pop more. And you can also see the wood grain in the image a lot. Now, if you just want your image to pop, one thing you could do is just paint a layer of like white paint or something underneath, then pull your image off. That'll make your image stand out more. But you can see how, you know, this wood is a lot lighter. So I'm gonna show you the difference. I did this other project on this wood, and I did the same concept. I put the image straight on here, but because the wood is so dark, it doesn't stand out, and it didn't work out very well. The other problem I had with the image like pulling off, it's because I didn't soak the backing of the paper first. I just kind of started to go in and rub, and I also tried to pull the paper. Don't pull the paper. It'll start coming off. So this one was kind of a fail for me. I wanted to show you guys what not to do so you didn't make the same mistakes that I did. So this probably would have worked out if I would have painted it first, but my thought was I wanted a little bit of wood grain to come through, so I was gonna paint it afterwards. So I don't know. So lesson learned on that one. Let me know in the comments if you guys have attempted this project before. What tricks do you have? How do you do it differently than me? I'd love to hear your suggestions. If you missed our last DIY, I'm gonna link it here so you can watch that one next. And I post 3 DIYs each week, so make sure you're subscribed so you get notified every time I put out a new video. And I'll talk to you guys in our next one. Bye.